Hey Ava, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's everything been going?
Um, it's been going all right. Like I've had some good days. I feel like knowing I'm coming here has been helpful and just being like, all right, I'm not just like sitting in this and doing nothing, but some days have been harder. Um, Going to work has become more tricky. Um, yeah. And my roommate got really mad at me about just lazying around and not doing anything. So that wasn't fun. But other than that, the days have been okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, glad you can make it in today. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what brings you in today?
I think just last time we talked about maybe meeting again because I still don't really know what to do to get better. Um, yeah, and it like helps talking about things a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So last time we talked about your depression, also some drinking habits that you'd like to toy around with, maybe. And then, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much it.
I think so. Yeah, I think like with my job too, the only reason I really want to maybe change some of the drinking stuff is just to like make sure I get to work on time and I'm not hungover. Other
Okay.
than that, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think I just if I lose this job, that would be really hard.
And so are you getting to work on time this last couple of weeks?
Sort of, not all the time. So I tried carpooling with my
Yeah.
coworker a little more. Um, but sometimes I still just like can't get myself there if I'm like really hungover. Um, yeah, or I don't know. Some days it's still just like really hard to get out of bed, and some days I'm just not able to, and I get really mad at myself for not doing it. But like it's really hard. It's hard to get out of bed and go. So that's when like I'll call in sick. Um, but I think my boss is getting mad at me about that.
Okay.
So I'm nervous about losing the job.
Okay. Well, um, yeah. Let's help you work on that.
Okay.
Um, so I took some notes from our last session, and um, so I feel like we can identify some of the issues with your depression. Um, so I came up with a couple of interventions. Uh, Let me know what you think about them. Okay.
Okay.
So the first one is the internet research. So have you done research on depression?
Um, Not really, because like back when I had the counselor in high school who said I might have depression,
Yeah.
um, like the internet wasn't as big,
Okay.
so I didn't look it up. And then, yeah, I feel like I know it's when you're like really sad, um, but I don't know a lot about it.
Okay. Because studies have shown that people who do research and um, know more about the disease or illness,
Mm-hmm.
they do better in the recovery.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just a suggestion if
Okay.
if you'd like to do some
Yeah,
handy dandy work,
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing is physical activity. Like, how's your fitness?
I don't really do any of that.
No? Okay.
No. Yeah, I just feel like I'm like busy and like don't really feel like doing it.
Okay. All right. Is there something you'd like to change about that, or are you content where you're at?
I don't know. I'd be open to it. Would that help my depression?
Yeah. Studies show it helps.
Hmm.
It helps more than not being active. You know.
I can try. I don't really like going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
but if there's other stuff I could do, I could try that.
Do you like playing sports?
I used to. I haven't for a really long time.
Oh,
But I used to really like it. I
okay.
think just like now that I'm older, it's like not. I don't know. In high school and like before that, it was just like what I did, and my parents drove me there. And
Sweet.
now I like don't really know how to do that. But
Okay. Yeah, you can always get involved with like a rec league or rock climbing is really popular nowadays.
that would be cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, running if you like to pick that up. I know it's cold outside, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe the rock climbing. That sounds fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So keep going down the list. There's peer support. Do you know what that is?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
So
Yeah.
we have like support groups for people who have depression, um, and then they all like meet together and they talk about their struggles with living with depression, and it helps people feel more connected, and it helps them get better with their illness.
So would I need to like find people who also have depression, or is there like a group that already exists that I would go to?
There's groups that exist within the hospital system, and also you can Google depression groups. Like NAMI has groups, National Alliance on Mental Illness,
Okay.
and then DBSA, Depression Bipolar Support Alliance. They have groups too, so those are national organizations.
Okay.
That have like county affiliates. So.
And do they meet a lot?
Maybe once or twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I don't really know. I don't have friends who have depression, I don't think. I mean, unless they're not telling me, but like, I always feel like I'm the only one who's feeling that way. Yeah, that'd be cool to meet some people who know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because it's been hard to talk to people too when they don't have that, because they're just like, oh, like just get out of bed or just whatever, and it's not that easy. So I like that idea.
Okay. So groups looks like a good idea, maybe, for you. So I can definitely write that down and
Okay, cool.
give that to you. So there's also taking medication, which we explored on our first consultation. What does that sound like to you?
Would it, I guess, like, if it's expensive, I don't know if I can do it, but if it's cheap, like, I don't know if my insurance pays for that.
Okay.
So that's, like, my only worry, but I'd be willing to try that.
Okay.
Like, if it helps, you know?
Yeah, so...
I'll try just about anything right now.
So you believe that antidepressant medication helps?
I don't know, because I don't know if it would help me now. I tried it for a little bit a long time ago, but then I lost my insurance, so I couldn't get it anymore. Yeah, like I don't know, whatever. I'll try just about anything.
Did it help previously?
It did for a little bit, but I wasn't on it super long, and so I don't know if it was like because of the medication or just like I was feeling better at that moment, but for a little bit, for a little bit I did feel like it was, I don't know, maybe it helped.
Okay, so that's another possibility.
Okay.
And lastly, the big kit and caboodle, we have cognitive behavioral therapy, which we introduced last session. Do you need a refresher?
Yeah, I don't really remember what that is.
You don't really remember, no problem. So, cognitive behavioral therapy connects your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions or behaviors together. So it's like it's a triangle. So you have thoughts here, behaviors here, feelings here, and then they all interact with each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So. So your goal is to remind me what your goal is.
So it's really to like go to work and not lose my job.
Sure.
So I guess just like making sure I'm showing up on time and that I'm not showing up hungover. Because like when I'm not doing those things, my boss really likes me and I'm doing a good job. It's just like I'm always doing this stuff that ends up getting me fired or close to fired. So I want to stop doing that because I think that would just make me feel a lot better.
Okay. So your goal is to keep your job?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what are the thoughts that prevent you from keeping your job?
I have to think about that a second. So I feel like I feel. Wait. So you're asking like, what do I think?
Like
that like stops me from keeping my job?
Yeah. So
I think. Well, I know that like my boss gets angry because I'm not showing up on time, and then like I think in my head I'm like, why can't I just like get my stuff together, right, and show up, and like why do I have to miss a day of work? And so I think of, I don't know, like I think of myself as kind of worthless and irresponsible. Yeah, and just like unable to do like very basic things that everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
I think it makes me feel worthless and frustrated with myself. And if I'm feeling sad, it makes me feel more sad. And just like, yeah, just like less of a capable person than everyone around me. Trying to think what else. Yeah, just like it makes me feel bad. Makes me feel really bad. And worried because I'm afraid if I lose my job, then I'll have trouble paying rent and things like that. And I won't have health insurance, and it's stressful.
Okay. And how does that impact your behaviors?
I think sometimes it makes it worse. Like if I'm missing work and then because I'm feeling really sad, it makes me feel more sad, so then I miss more work. And I think I get defensive with my boss, but I don't want to tell my boss what's really going on, and so I think I lie. That happens a lot when that's happening. I don't tell my friends what's happening. I end up just in bed, not doing a lot, or not leaving my apartment for a while, and so it means not going to work, which, like, again, is just making the problem worse. So it's like this weird cycle. Just it keeps happening. So I'm just like being a bad employee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to recapture that, so you feel like your boss doesn't like you, and then makes you feel kind of sad.
Or just that, like, my boss is gonna fire me.
Yeah, so you're like stressed out.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it like kind of makes you feel like a kind of like a downward spiral. You know, you get stressed out and then you get more sad. And,
Yeah.
And then you might get fired. So So our goal is to like stop one thought from contributing to the feeling.
Okay.
And then to the behavior. So like maybe your boss feels bad about you, and then what can you do to like rectify that? Like it doesn't always have to be like one thought, like one negative thought leads to another negative thought leads to a negative outcome. So if your boss doesn't like you, what can you do to turn it into positive?
I think sometimes, like, when I get stuck in that, I, like, really think that my boss is out to get me in a way that's, like, maybe not always true. So maybe reminding myself that, like, I don't know, if I show up on time, I'll be fine. Because sometimes I think there's, like, other stuff at play that maybe isn't, if that makes sense. So I think I have to, like, tell myself stuff in my head. That can help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of stuff you can tell yourself, or?
I wonder if I can just be like, you can do this, and, like, you're fine if you show up. Like, that's all it takes, and, or maybe not, like, dreading what can happen the whole day. Like, if I just am like, you just gotta get out of bed, and you just gotta do this, and things aren't as bad as you think they are. I feel like thoughts like that maybe would be helpful.
So some positive reinforcement, encouragement.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. That sounds like a good plan. So we can do some more cognitive-based therapy in our next sessions.
Okay.
In addition to the other interventions that I mentioned. So I have internet research, cognitive-based therapy, physical activity, peer support, antidepressant medication. So what do you think about internet research?
That feels pretty easy. Like, I can do that by the next time we meet, for sure. Okay.
And I have cognitive behavioral therapy, which we'll work on.
Okay.
And then you can, just have, like, work on trying to have more positive thoughts. feel like your boss is thinking negative about you.
Okay.
In the meantime, you know.
Cool.
Physical activity.
Yeah, that feels like a little harder because I don't know. Like the rock climbing sounds cool, but it also is expensive. I like the peer group one more.
Sure.
Yeah, that I'd be like curious to hear because I feel like I'm like the only one experiencing certain things a lot of times, and like that would be nice to hear what's happening to other people.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Yeah, let's get you signed up for a peer group.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then antidepressant medication.
Yeah, I'd be interested in finding out more about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get you set up with those.
Okay.
Those interventions, and I'll see you next time then.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, no problem.